Greetings, this is Miss J, and I decided this fall that I was going to do safety videos. And so this is my first one because school is starting for a lot of children. And I see a lot of little people walking home alone. And United States is like number one in child trafficking and missing kids, and especially sex trafficking. So when I think about that, I think about what can we do to get our kids from point A to point B, right? Um, Setting up safety nets. Safety nets are so vital. And let me explain what a safety net is or could be, even for you and your kids. As working parents, you don't always have the flexibility to be home when your kids get off of school. Everybody cannot afford after school care. So there's a lot of scenarios that make children have to be alone, right? So what we can do is set up a safety net. If your child can not find someone to walk home with, then maybe you can set up a system where they can text you, or they can, call you if your job allows. Mom, I'm leaving school now. You estimate how long it takes your child to walk home. Maybe you can practice that with your child over the weekend, so you know it should take you only 15 minutes or it should take you 10 minutes, right? Then if they call you, I made it home safely. So I'm being realistic because that is the climate that we live in, right? So, or have them understand when you pass 7-Eleven or the library, if those particular stores are on your route, or any store that's on your route, that they can go in there and ask the clerk for assistance, right? Somebody with a name tag, not just anybody, somebody with a name tag. Have them call you, or they can call your backup person. Let me tell you about the backup person. The backup person is the person that is available when you're not and they need help. I think a lot of times kids, it's really hard for them to decipher who's good or who's bad, right? So we have Aunt Lisa. No matter what goes down, if something happens, if you can't get me, you get Aunt Lisa. So they also know if they go into that store or the library or wherever that safety net is for them on the way home, and they can't reach you, they got a backup person. Having that backup person is really crucial. Even if they get a ride on the bus, they still got to walk home once they're dropped off, right? So we need a backup person. If you have a neighbor that you do your due diligence on, you know what this person's about. If you're walking home and something happened, go to Mr. John's or Mrs. Smith's house, because we have already got an arrangement. You, your kids, and this particular adult have an arrangement. So it's important to set up these different type of safety nets. Also, it's important to tell them, do not talk to strangers. Wow, what's a stranger? I saw Mr. Smith at the house, so he ain't a stranger. Mr. Smith is a stranger. Mrs. Jones is a stranger. Do not go with anyone, I don't care what they say, without my permission, without my okay. Regardless if you think we know them or they know us or whatever, you need permission. That way there is no confusion. No confusion, excuse me. There is no confusion. They understand that no matter who it is, they have to have approval, period. Also, don't approach cars. If an adult say they need help, then that adult needs to get it from another adult. A lot of times they're offering puppies and candy and ice cream and video games. I watched a scenario where this mother swore her child would never talk to anybody or go with anybody. A gentleman had a big old truck, and he had video games. And he was luring the kids in by allowing them to play the new Madden game. And a lot of parents were just so shocked that their kids would go do that. Well, kids will be kids. Kids are going to do what kids do. So you have to, as a parent, reiterate, look, I don't care if he got the new Madden. I don't care if he got the new Jordans. I don't care if you got the cutest puppy you ever seen. I don't care if they got candy. I don't care. I don't care what they are offering. You just don't do it. And we have to be specific. You just can't say don't do it. But what if? Because in the back of a kid's mind, a stranger back did someone mean and ugly and or like a monster or something. But if he's friendly and nice, hey, I got these Jordans. You need to come check them out. Maybe you can get your mom to buy you some. Kid's gonna run. Oh, let me check them out. So we need to make sure that we are clear about what is safe and what is not safe. Then I want to talk about telling our children how to get help when they need it. It's important to let them know, if they're near a store, if they're in a store or near a store, to maybe go in there, look for somebody with a name tag, look for a police officer with a name tag. Maybe if they're at a park, they might, or, somewhere they can see a parent with kids that they may know, run to a parent with a kid. We got to give them some type of safety net. We just can't say don't and don't give them anything to work with. So this is what I'm talking about this week. This is my first video. I got my glasses on because my eyes are full of allergies, so I hope that it's not reflecting too much. But I wanted to get the first video out because it was really important to start on time. And school is starting this week for a lot of people, and it's going to keep starting, depends on where you live from this point forward. So we need to have some rules in place. We need to create a safety net. This is not on the subject, but this is something I want to talk about since school is starting. It's important that kids do the buddy system, that they walk home with somebody. If they cannot walk home with somebody, parents, it is important to have the safety net in place. United States is #1 in child sex trafficking. Millions of children go missing a year. A lot of kids don't make it from point A to point B. We're going to try to change that. We're going to try to get those numbers down. We're going to try to make a difference that matters, right? There's so many causes out there, but this has been my cause for decades. Talking about missing children, the number of children that go missing, especially children of color, because in our community, it's not a subject. I'm sorry, these glasses in my hair is not mixing. It's not a subject that we talk about a lot, but we are going missing. Our children are going missing at a high rate. Same with the Latino community. Look, we have to pay attention. No one looks for our kids. We got a few organizations out there like Missing in Black, National Missing and Exploited Children, but they only can do so much. So we have to help them help us, right? So I wanted to make sure that we start this subject at school time, and it's important that we get this information out. We have to learn to keep our children safe and not act as if it's like not a big subject, not a big topic. It's a big topic because as we lose kids, we lose generations. As we lose generations, we lose futures, right? So it is important. So let's start working towards having more safety rules in place for our kids. I'm going to post some scenarios on my website, which you can see at the bottom of the screen here. Also, I post safety tips also from there onto my Facebook page, my book's Facebook page. So we're going to be proactive this fall and talking about safety, putting safety out there, giving examples and scenarios. And parents, don't be afraid to act it out. Park your car somewhere and say, and pretend you're a stranger and tell them. And, role play. Role play is so key when they're a certain age because it helps them to remember. And it takes a couple of minutes. And you can park your car on your block. I'm not saying you got to go nowhere and leave your block. But just learn to role play. Even if you're telling them about their safety net, who to call, what to do, role play it. So what happens if you can't reach me? What do you do? What happens if you need help? What would you do? So it is important that we have these safety nets in place so that they know. Because just telling the babies is not enough. They're just babies. And teenagers, their minds are on 150 things, and safety is not one. Junior high school kids, they're going through a transition of, I'm not a baby, but I'm not grown. Their mind is not, they're trying to survive school. So, okay, Mom, I heard you. Okay, Mom, okay. You got to let them know it's really serious. And though they don't see it happen every day, does not mean it doesn't happen. So, this is my first video. And again, excuse my glasses. I hope they're not too distracting, but allergies had me down today, eyes all swollen. So, but I wanted to get this out because this is important. And I wanted to make sure that we understand that school is starting. That means our kids are at risk. And we don't want them walking around paranoid and scared, but we just want to set rules and safety nets in place to keep them safe. And that's all this video is about today. I'm going to do more. They're probably going to be way better than this one, but I am blessed to get it out. And I hope it blesses you and your children. I thank you for the time. And again, this is Miss J, aka author Jackie Allen. Peace and blessings, and thank you.